Hello and welcome to my look back on January and what I've been up to in World of Warcraft and what I've been making gold wise and things that have worked out and the things that haven't worked out. So first and foremost, the most obvious thing here is we are wearing our chef's hat, which means we've finally got the chef's hat, which is excellent because it really means that our cooking times are really reduced, which is amazing. It just means I can cook so much quicker. So big chef's hat hype to that. The other thing that's obvious is this microphone here is a new addition to our streaming setup, and big thank you goes out to Rode Microphones to sending me this, and Sephorium for contributing to the boom arm, and I'm gonna make get a shock mount as well in the future, so hopefully that's going to improve the stream quality, so big thank you to everyone who's contributed towards that. Other things that have happened is you can see we're nearly done with all our cooking recipes. We've just got Fighter Chow rank 3, Koi Scented Stormway rank 3 and Lavish Suramar Feast rank 3 are the only 3 outstanding rank 3s that we need. So that's amazing that we've just kept on with our work orders. You can see here I'm in Nomi's kitchen now, so I've got some work orders to pick up. So hopefully it won't be too long before we've got all those sorted as well. Now the big thing that's really happened this month is you can see our gold reserves have really increased and we're much healthier now. We started the month down here with very little gold at all, and that really impacted on our ability to react to the market. But now our liquid gold has risen up to the lofty heights of 741,000 gold, which is amazing. We're up here now, and now we can buy stock when we need it and buy it when it's cheap. Therefore, that's a much more efficient way of doing things. You can see here our sales are at 2.8 million in total sales, but obviously counteract that with 2.2 million in purchases. Now a lot of this is going to be Chaos Crystals, no surprise there. And it actually says our top item for this month was Mark of the Trained Soldier, which is pretty amazing because it's usually Mastery that sells. We can look into Enchanting a bit later. And then profit wise, we can look here, 632,000 profit for the month, which is amazing. That's really good. If we move over here, you can see the past 3 months. Basically in November we made 382,000 profit, December 463,000 profit, and now here in January we're 635,000 profit, which is fantastic. Now looking down to overall sales, you can see here this is the total of everything. So as we said before, 2.8 million in total sales, and here it says the top item is Binding of Mastery by amount of money made, and the amount by quantity is Bear Tartar, selling 4,000 of those. We've sold loads of those. I managed to pick up some cheaply for that, so that's quite good there. Other income, this is mainly down to garrisons down here, and I haven't really done this very efficiently. I don't use the mobile app. I literally just go on when I can and get the odd mission. So if I wanted to increase that with passive income, I really could. Looking at purchases, again, yeah, 2.2 million, that's loads. Obviously Chaos Crystals by amount of gold spent, and Shalder Eye Silk by amount of items purchased. You can see there that those are our biggest expenses. And then looking down here, we've got the same. We've got the profit comes here about 640,000, which is similar to what we had before. Looking at the actual items themselves that have sold, I've ordered this by number I've bought here actually. So the biggest number here is Shalder Eye Silk, Stonehide Leather, 8,000 of that. So these are for creating our ley lights and our arcana, and then Chaos Crystals, the raw purchase price there. Now we've been buying those with an average of 383 gold, so the prices have gone up, but we've still been able to turn a profit with that, so that's been really useful. Moving on to our big sellers here, so this is literally just the high ticket items. Couple of Gumdrops' old items here have actually sold, one for 15,000 there and one for 11,000 here, and then I managed to actually sell a Mooncloth robe for 13,000, which is pretty amazing. Normally that sells for about 8,000. And then obviously the big load of numbers here is our enchants, which is our main seller. And some of these have been going up for like sort of 7,500 for some of the necks, which is really good prices. And looking over here, you can see our garrison income. It's not massive by any stretch. There's only been a few gold missions that we've picked up, but it has added to the overall pool, which has been brilliant. Looking here at enchanting sales, you can see that obviously this is the bulk of our sales here. Now this doesn't, I don't think, include the expenses, so this is just on the sales. And you can see over here, these are ordered by the number sold over the last 30 days. So you can see 111, we've sold 111 binding and masteries. That's been by far the biggest seller. The rings, haste, mastery and critical strike, have all been really good sellers. And then the other ring you've got down here, versatility, not so much of a good seller, down at 37. And then we've got, after that, trained soldier, 61 sold, 48 mark of the claws, and then 41 hidden satyr. So there's been really good sales throughout all the main enchants. Now the extra thing here to look at is enchant weapon elemental force. Now this is, I've recently started selling this one, and it's been a really good seller, especially now that Battle for Azeroth pre-order came out, and there's loads and loads of new characters being made. So Elemental Force has been a fantastic seller for me, especially over the second half of this month. I expect to see quite a few more of those selling as well. We have got Crusader Enchant. I haven't sold as many of these as I'd like, and I'm still actually in negative with this because I bought the recipe for 10,000 and I've only sold one for 2,800. I actually sold one recently, but that was only for 850. So I'm still in the negative if you take into account the 10,000 it cost me to buy that. You can see here I was looking at whether I wanted to get the Crusader Enchant. I looked up what it was useful for. I looked up the recipe, which was for 10,000. I looked up where I'd get it if I wanted to farm it, and then I looked over at what was actually selling and what the actual costs of it were, and so the profit was about 3,000 if I sold it for the price that I was selling it for, because the total cost is only 426. And as long as I can get these Righteous Orbs and Large Brilliant Shards for a decent price, I could make a decent profit on it. But I still just haven't sold enough of those, so time will tell. Now the big thing to note is Chaos Crystal prices. These have stayed consistently high throughout most of January, even going up steadily over the month. This is only the first 2 weeks, and the quantity available has been really low. Now, interestingly, I did find out recently that you can actually buy a cloak for 400 gold if you've got the right reputation, and that will always disenchant into a Chaos Crystal. So this 400 is actually the upper limit you should ever pay for Chaos Crystals, and you can see how close we are to that, even going over it several times. Now my average for Chaos Crystal purchase price is about 380 at the moment, so I've not gone over this threshold yet, but it's something to think about if your Chaos Crystals on your realm are getting this close, because literally you can buy it from a vendor. You look over here, you buy it from this Vindicator Jaelana, and if you've got Army of the Light Exalted, then you can pick up this embroidered Lightforged Drape for 400 gold. If you haven't got Exalted, it will cost either 425 or 500 gold, but it's not worth buying at that time. You have to have Exalted in order to be able to make use of this. But it's worth getting the reputation, definitely, to unlock the characters, and it's worth it for the Drape, so that you can get Chaos Crystals at 400 gold, if your prices, like here, have gone up so high. Now looking at cooking's been fantastic. It's really been an excellent sort of supplementary income to my enchanting. I'm not spending quite as much as I used to on the Nomi work orders, now that's coming to a close. This doesn't reflect the actual expenses here, but you can see that we've made a good amount of sales of 292,000. The biggest selling one, obviously, Lavish Suramar Feast, and the biggest in quantity, Bear Tartare. You look over here, ordered by numbers sold, Bear Tartare is up here at the massive amount because people buy that for the speed boost. And then we've got a decent amount of Hungry Magister, Nightborn Delicacy Platter, and Labour Q Ribs, all in the hundreds here, or several hundreds in fact. So this has all been a massive profit, really. Now looking at my expenses, you can see I've actually bought quite a lot of things. I've overstocked on a lot of this. Big Gamey Ribs is the biggest one. I've bought 2,000 of those. Wildfowl eggs. Lean Shank is the best one for getting cheap work orders, because it's only 1 gold 73 average buy for me, which is better than the market value, which is 2 gold. So that one I've been using to try and finish off my recipes at the moment. Moving on to tailoring, I've had quite a few good sales of tailoring. The big one here is the Silkweave Satchel, which I've been selling loads of. Now that the Battle for Azeroth pre-order is out, again, people are making new characters, and the Elemental Force enchant, Hexweave bags and Silkweave satchels are selling really well right now. You can see here I've sold 83 Silkweave satchels, and that's really been in the last couple of weeks. Mooncloth robe is a big high ticket item. That's unusual in that amount, but that's definitely a good seller at the moment. Looking at all the things I've sold tailoring wise, down here we've got Silkweave satchel as the biggest seller, and Hexweave bag followed shortly behind that. Rich purple silk shirt is here at number 5 we've sold, but we did make a mistake with that, and we sold, I think it was 3 of them at a really low price, which is why my average sale price is so low. I made a big mistake with that, not setting the price correctly, and paid the price for it. Mooncloth robe, sold 3 of those with an average sale price of 6,000, which has been fantastic. And then what we've got here is a whole load of shirts. Some of these are the old Dalaran shirts, which I bought for about sort of between 25 and 45 gold. Now you can see here that quite a few have failed so far, and these cost about 5 gold to post, so time will tell whether these are actually going to do a profit overall. We have sold some of them, but not as many as our crafted ones. These are mainly our crafted ones here. Not massive profits, but again, they've been useful. There's another worldly bag in there and a spell thread, but mainly this is mainly done for fun, really, more than anything else. So the big thing that happened at the end of this month was the Battle for Azeroth pre-order came out. Big change in the game. We've got 4 new races for people to try out, and people have been making new characters left, right and centre. So I think selling bags and selling the lower enchants is the way to go into February, because I think we're going to have more and more people making characters. The peak of it's probably gone now, but this is a good start at least. Now, one of the things I did actually get wrong was using the Garrison Trader website to work out when I would find Dorothy 2. I'd been looking at this thinking that this was what was cheap using the trading post, not who would be up at any given time. And so I wasn't looking for Fur Trader on a Saturday or on a Thursday here. So I was actually looking in the wrong places for Dorothy 2 turning up. I haven't checked her recently, so I still haven't got that for my Hexweave bags. Now, looking at stats for this month, there's been some interesting changes. YouTube have changed their monetization platform requirements. It used to be you had 10,000 views, which I thought I had back in November, but then they've changed it now. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watched. So I've actually got over 4,500 hours watched thanks to me putting all my live streams onto YouTube. I'm amazed at the sort of like amount of hours that represents. I mean, that's just fantastic. And I'm at 324 subscribers, which for me is amazing. I just need to get to 1,000 now to start monetization, but you know, that will come in time. Twitch, we've been doing really well. We've got 6 subscribers and 345 followers, which massive thank you to everyone for coming on board and enjoying the stream. You know, I really appreciate that. You can see we've even got about 300 followers there on Twitter as well. I suspect we've got the same 300-ish people are the ones that are following me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, but that's great. That's 300 people that, you know, I've managed to connect to, so big thank you to all of you. It's been absolutely amazing. So overall, looking at the month, loads and loads has happened, and it's been amazing. If you're wondering what this app is, this is Real-Time Board, which I use to gather all my thoughts together. I've got even more over here, which I've done for chaos crystals and things to do and different enchants and things like this. So it's a really good way of mapping out your thought process, and it's all done online. So I highly recommend you go to Real-Time Board and check this out. But overall, I would say January has been a fantastic month. Really pleased about the money we made. So looking ahead into February, well, what are we going to do? I think get enough gold to be able to buy the deluxe version of Battle for Azeroth. I think is going to be high up there on the list. I also want to unlock flying in Draenor. I want to level up some of my characters and therefore get up some more professions going. So that's going to be exciting. So all in all, it's going to be quite an interesting one. So once again, I'd like to say a massive thank you to everyone, and look forward to more adventures in February and more gold being made. So thank you everyone, and see you next time.